part of the anxiety disorder is that I make mountains out of molehills. Like I'm someone who stresses over very little things. When I did the HSC in year 12, and I had been awake for 2 days because I was studying, and the fridge wouldn't shut. I remember just the fridge, and I just kept trying to shut the fridge, the seal wouldn't seal, and I just started bawling my eyes out. And I think that was probably the first time I ever went, oh, this is probably a thing that, you know, it's this little trigger things that frustration just kind of makes you explode.
I started thinking therapy. It's funny, you learn things in therapy, like take this for example, what I thought for all my 23 years was a healthy amount of daily crippling fear actually turns out to be a severe anxiety disorder, so... learning things.
No, being a comedian and having anxiety doesn't sound like it should go well, but it kind of does. Nothing makes you feel less anxious than killing it at a gig. I think an eating disorder isn't necessarily, or the disorder part of it stays with you forever. There's always this little voice that's kind of, but I had an active eating disorder for about a year. I was tubby in high school, and just little things like that. The people that I had crushes on were way out of my league, like, you know, just normal high school shit, and it just probably mixed in with the anxiety. I lost all my puppy fat one Christmas holidays. Started getting like a little bit more attention from people, and quite kind of liked that. I wasn't like the chubby weird boy anymore. I was like kind of funnier. Yeah, I wear fake glasses. What? There's nothing in them. I'm a fraud. So that's where I kind of became addicted to the attention. And then that just kind of festered for a little while, and I started, you know, trying to stay thinner and get thinner. I realised that I could survive on a 40-hour period on 2 packets of Marlboro Gold 25 cigarettes and 3 toasted cheese sandwiches. And just kept losing weight and losing weight and losing weight and looking quite unhealthy, and people kept commenting on that, which was quite nice as well. Like, just the comments were just, it was getting nicer. And then when I started to make more money, people were noticing that I wasn't eating, and so I kind of took it to the next irrational level and started eating and throwing up after most meals. And that's where it kind of took a turn for the worst.
I don't like that term anxiety disorder, I want to give that a different spin. I like to imagine more like I'm celiac, but with an intolerance to hope. Oh.
There's no way to look back on it and think it's a rational decision. It was just kind of like, it's probably the first time that you ever try a drug. You know that it's not a good idea. Like, you know that everyone says it's the wrong thing to do. I was pretty depressed, I would imagine. Yeah, things weren't going to plan, and I just wanted to have control of something, probably. Like about a week later I did it again, and then a week later I did it again, and then it kind of more, you know, then I'd do it after 2 days. I suddenly just realised that I looked awful and was really unhealthy and not happy. It wasn't making me happy anymore. Because what an eating disorder is, you're chasing this impossible goal that you're never ever going to be able to. You're constantly just trying to get thinner and thinner and thinner. You could, if you wanted to, you could shave your bones. And it's not even, it doesn't even matter what you look like anymore. It doesn't matter, it's about your weight. It's about a number. It's about wanting to get to a specific number, and it doesn't matter how horrible you look anymore because you're able to say, oh, well, I'm 56 kilos. But it wasn't like a clean break. It wasn't like this, like, tomorrow I'm never going to do it again. It was like giving up cigarettes or something. I didn't want help, and that's a dumb decision. I just think that is a massive mistake. To me, it was an embarrassing thing. It was, once I clicked over, it was, oh, well, this is really embarrassing that this happened. Because it's a weakness, really. You feel like it's a weakness. And it's a weakness that you don't want to talk to people about. If you're in a situation, you totally fucking should talk to people about it. I don't know, I think by laughing at something you become more comfortable with it a lot of the time, and that's all. I'd like to be able to get people more comfortable with it so they can talk about it. Because it's an awful fucking thing that happens to a lot of people. And even though I say how lucky I was to get out of it, there are so many people that aren't that lucky, and are living with this horrible fucking secret that's weighing down on them all the time, and they don't need to be doing that.
Put your hands together for Reese Dickelson.
Because as soon as it's out, it doesn't hold you anymore.